Hey, what's up? I am DeMonte, and I am back with another episode of the Preppy Savages podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about job security. This is my fourth episode? I think this is my fourth episode. Season 2, like the Wendy Williams show. I promise if I could work for any employer, Wendy will be like my top pick because they work for a couple weeks and then they're off. They're off for a couple weeks and then they work for a couple weeks. They're off. I promise. They get a summer and spring break and a fall break. But I know she can do that because she got her money. But I wonder if her other employees get paid well. Speaking of job security, I'm going to touch on a little bit of my story. Not all my story because that would be $1 million interview, but just where I've been at in the past couple months. Really, overview in the past 2.5 years since I graduated school, but definitely a synopsis of the past couple months since the spring. Let's say mid-spring, I guess. So, and I did a video with this podcast. It's different. You can watch me, of course. It's going to be awkward sometimes because I'm just going to be myself. I like the rawness of this. This time I'm doing my podcast, some of them pre-recorded. And then sometimes if I feel if I would want to, I will go live on Instagram, mostly Instagram. But yeah, I like the live show. Live shows don't really bother me because that's what I'm used to for other stuff. But because of Wi-Fi connection, the live be skipping and jumping and everything in between. So I was like, you know what, when I get back started, I took a break from social media. Not like a mental break, probably should have took a mental break, but I don't know if I should reveal it yet. I had a big reveal for you guys. Oh, you know what? I was going to save it for another episode of the Preppy Savage podcast. But I think I'm going to reveal it this episode because it kind of ties into where I've been at. Because I've been MIA. I definitely been MIA. It ties into what I've been working on, where I've been at, and what I'm currently doing. So y'all ready to, and you don't even have to watch my podcast. You don't have to watch the Preppy Savages podcast. You can listen to it on your way to work, on your way home from work, on your way to the grocery store. You can listen to it while you're laying in your bed, before your bedtime. Maybe if you put me on some speakers, you can listen to me while you're in the shower. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be dope. If you listen to me while you're in the shower, creepy, but just put me on some speakers and it'll be perfect. But gotta stay hydrated. So let's get back into the episode of job security. And I didn't know what the title is, job security. That kind of sounds like I'm about to give a seminar. But it's definitely going to relate to goals. It's definitely going to relate to motivation, the effort you put in, what you get out of a situation. I am showing a lot of legs. Sorry if the camera too close up. What you get, what I'll say, effort, motivation, what else? But yeah, so the reason why I talk about job security, because I have an interesting story. In my 24 short life living, I had some experiences, and throughout the podcast, different episodes, I'm going to talk about my experience. And the whole purpose of this will enhance my platform. Maybe, share, let other people know that they're not alone. Some episodes, some people, whatever you take from it, what you take from it. If you like it for just pure entertainment, I'm cool with that. What else could you get from listening to my podcast? But yeah, this is what I do. So let's just jump right into it. So, the Preppy Savages, episode 4. I don't even know. Let me stop saying an episode, because I really don't know what episode I'm on. But job security. So, let me tell you my goals, and then I will backtrack. So, my goals. I would like to be a creative director in talent. Of course, I want to go into the entertainment industry. And I currently reside in Ohio. And Ohio is just not not a big market for it, not a good enough market. I mean, kind of, sort of. But not a big enough market for the entertainment industry. Here and then we have some small things, or you have to really work so hard for something, which is not... You should work hard anyways, but it's a far stretch. But of course, the big entertainment markets will be New York and California, Atlanta. Of course, Chicago got a couple things. Florida got a couple things. They probably film more stuff in Indiana than Ohio. Indiana is like another Midwest state. So, but Ohio, it is what it is. And I understand that I had to eventually move outside of Ohio. I was supposed to have been left, but obviously unseen circumstances kept me in Ohio longer, which I was young, I didn't know. So I'm trying to, jump over those hurdles now, or I think I'm on a good pace. Trying to work with the cards I would dealt, play the cards I was dealt. But yeah, that's my goal, to be a personality and a creative director. And if you don't know what the creative director for entertainment industry, who got mail? What you don't know what a creative director is, and depending on what you want to do in the entertainment industry, a creative director could be anything. It could be anything from just different things. It could just be a vague term, but I essentially want to work with different figures, celebrities, being a part of their creative team, just contributing ideas, whether it's a musician, an artist, or an influencer, or even a businessman. It necessarily don't have to be a celebrity, but it could be a restaurant owner or a small business owner coming up with a theme for their restaurant. And I do have some technical skills. I'm not really I don't like to do some of the technical skills, far as I won't edit. I'm not going to edit my own stuff, let alone somebody else, unless push come to shove. I definitely would be some videographer, but not too long. Camera guy. And it's just so different technical skills that I do have. that if I had to use them, I would. But other than that, I just like managing and just contributing ideas and planning and coordinating. So planning and coordinating, digital marketing, essentially what type of creative director I would like to be. And then on the talent side, no, I don't want to be the next Brad Pitt, Will Smith, everybody else in between. But I wouldn't mind acting like small roles. I always said I still want to be a professional extra, but extras doesn't get, the pay is not that good. So I do definitely have to get some type of, make my name big so they can pay me so big just being an extra. But I'll definitely be a professional extra, commercial. What else I want to do? And I want to do voiceovers, voice acting. And going back to like when I was in school, as I guess I'll just time frame start at when I was in college. When I was in school, like I try to learn everything I can about the entertainment industry or the media industry. And I think even till I graduated, like right after graduation, like the first year when I graduated, I always wanted to I kind of spread myself a little thin because I try to learn anything. I was like, okay, whatever's my foot in the door, I'll take it. Meaning, however I can get into the entertainment industry, I will do I tried to do anything. So like, oh, you need a cameraman. Oh, you need this, that. I can do this, I can do that. And I tried to focus on one thing. So like in school, I got pushed more towards the television production side. So I know more stuff about TV production or producing for TV content, besides like digital marketing. But going back to like what I want to be, creative director / talent, I just consider myself a brand architect. Because essentially I want to help somebody with their brand. So I call myself a brand architect. Nowadays, people, it's equivalent to a media maven or a social media, digital marketing coordinator. What else? What other? I'm trying to think of other titles. Social media guru, social media, and it's just not essentially, you can't just say social media because essentially it's stuff you do behind the scenes. So I just call myself a brand architect, and I let that be my title. And with that, under that, I can do different things: mostly producing, planning, coordinating. So going back to my story, like in school, I just got more pushed towards the TV side. But other than that, like any opportunity that came up related to learning more about media production, media content, I did it. I tried to do it. And it was kind of like, I was worried because I was like, okay, I don't have a set, there's guys who go to school, guys and girls, sorry to be, gender specific, but both sexes, females are coming up in the film world. But I tried to, there's the people that go to school and they do film and they do something film related. And there's the people who go to school for photography and got good editing skills. And there's people who go to school for, of course, your theater kids. So I try to dabble in everything just to learn a little bit. And with my major was like vague, and my major was vague, so they did get my foot wet in different areas. But we had a specialization. My specialization was media business, and then we had a minor, but still, with that, I still dabbled in a lot of things. And I did that until, a year after I graduated, I I still was like, okay, I need to stop, I need to stop trying to dabble in different things, because I just, try to focus on one thing, and not 10 things. But this year, I honestly, cut a long story short, this year, maybe like, probably like a month ago, honestly, I just came to the conclusion that, okay, I have instead of 10 things I need to focus on, how about I focus on 2? So I got my 2, and it will be the 2 things I will do to get into the industry, either modeling or social media marketing. However you want to say, I'm about to get, work on my Instagram, and then some modeling stuff, and I'm gonna do a big reveal, y'all. So stay tuned, keep listening. But essentially why I'm telling you all this is just because you continue to work on your goals, kind of like narrow things down. Because I'm the person who thought I could do 10 different things or 1 million different things, but essentially, you do want to kind of focus, the smaller, the least amount you can, you focus on, you can really hone your skills. Like, yeah, you might know different areas, but if you can, but essentially, you kind of want to, like, what will be your niche? What will you be known for? Like, you essentially be known for 1 or 2 things, and not, like, yeah, you can do multiple things, and, like, I don't know what they do. They do different things, but, with 1, 2 things you will be known for. I'm keeping up with the time. I'm already at 17 minutes, so I'm gonna cut this. Cut it. Chopped and screwed. Eating. But why this is season 2 of the Preppy Savages podcast. What I am gonna do, even last season, I had a fun last season. If you haven't seen my videos on my social media sites, right now they're just only on social media sites. I don't know, I might get back into YouTube. Stay tuned. I'll let you all know. But with my, short-term memory loss. Wow. Short-term memory loss. What was I saying? I don't know what was I talking But going back, fast forward, focusing on 2 things. So I decided about, doing modeling and social media will be my 2 things. So backtracking, a couple months ago, I just jumped right into it, still talking about job security. And so since I graduated from college, I literally had, I'm honestly gonna estimate, because I probably had 4 or 3, maybe three or 4 full-time jobs, and that's not including my side gigs, but that's only including my jobs. One job was seasonal, so that's why I had to transition to another job. One job the first job that I got when I come home, I had to leave because it wasn't for me. Where did I go? Oh, okay, yeah. And then, so I'm gonna tell my story. I'm gonna give a short story, and if you want details, feel free to ask me and I'll give you the details, but I'm just gonna shorten a long story. It's still gonna be a long story, but it won't be the long story. So I had multiple jobs just because of different circumstances, and then I'm gonna talk about, I guess, my gigs, a couple of my gigs that I did in between, because I always kept, just because how much a job pays me. And that's another thing, like, jobs don't want to pay what you worth. Like, and I'm not one person, I guess it's a way to keep myself humble, or just something I do naturally, but I never brag about me having a degree. Like, I don't bring that. I do kind of like complain about it when a job does, don't pay me what I think I should be getting paid to make a living. I don't bring in the fact that I have a degree. I don't bring it up. I don't bring it up at all. Which obviously Jobs knows, and I just shut my mouth in an interview because they tell me a pay, and that's it. That is what it is. Whatever pay rate they decide, I do question it, but there's no way. There's not really a negotiation. Like, they say something, I ask the question, they give me an answer, I shut up and keep it pushing, because if I keep on, I don't want them to seem that I'm difficult and they don't give my butt a job at all. So they pay me what they were, so I always had to get like a part-time job. And my part-time job, I was an Uber and Lyft driver. Guy, that's another podcast episode. So Uber and Lyft driving, I DoorDash, I worked at Old Navy. What else I done? So I'll just say that you can come in. Oh, those are the three jobs couple part-time job gigs that I did. I haven't done them in a while because the job I'm currently at, it's all right for now. the checks are looking nice, higher than my past jobs. So I just do extra hours. It's flexible. The hours are flexible, allow me to work extra. I'm gonna get back to that job, my current job. But going back, so I like to start off with my story with jobs. And you have any question about what to do on a job? Like, so I don't ever bring up my degree. Feel free to ask me any questions you have related to my job, how to act on a job, how job interviews. Have any questions? This is not that type of podcast. I'm talking about job security. That will just be like job shenanigans. But going back to job security and going back to, I don't bring up the fact that I don't complain like, I have my degree, so you should pay me more. I don't say that. What I do say, I do tell people, I was like, I know that I'm young, but I literally been working for since high school, and 10 plus years. Like, I've been working since like my sophomore year of high school. So, and then, of course, I had, little college gigs, college jobs, part-time jobs. So I'm just like, okay, so I know how to work. And I worked in various sectors, like from, public, private organizations, stores. I was a cashier. I worked, Lowe's, gas station. I was a camp counselor, just different job titles I had. So I know how to work for a company. I know how to follow company policies, how to conduct myself, on a job site, how to be professional. Essentially that's what it is. It's being a professional. And if, problems do occur on a job the right way. So because I've been working and know different things, with different policies related to the job force, I just feel like I should get paid more based on my, my experience. And then if you want to, add on another freaking couple $1,000, a couple, what you call that, put me in another tax bracket because I have a degree. Now, you can do good to be successful without a degree. But this is not that type of episode. I think they should definitely pay, just having experience. I just feel like I should get paid more. But that's never the case. And maybe that's just like Ohio living, born and raised in Ohio, went to school in Ohio, college in Ohio, still currently living in Ohio. I moved back in with my parents to save, gain like other bills, as far as like, car and your, once you get your own car, you got to get your own insurance. You get kicked off your parents' insurance. So, and that's what I want this podcast to be. Like, I'm just going to talk about how I am adapting to adulthood, navigating adult life in my 20s. And if I'm successful with this podcast, I continue to go on into my 30s. But going back So yeah, so I get these jobs. They don't pay me what I think they should pay me. The pay rate sucks. But I don't. This is the only time this is not the only time I'm complaining about it. But I keep it pushing because I know God has a better plan for my life. Like He's gonna bless me. He already blessed me, a couple times over. Over the cup runneth over. But so I know God got something bigger and better in the future, and that's why I continue to grind. That's why I continue to work hard. And when I say hustle, don't mean I'm not out here in these streets working these. I do work late hours. I'm gonna get to my current job, but everything illegal, because I know God has a better plan for my life. And if you don't know that, then you should definitely read up on your daily devotions. Download the Bible app. Holy Bible app. You got to get the brown book. Go to your app store, Play Store. So I take these jobs with these crap rate, and I could work in a factory. I could work, there are jobs that I choose not to do, but it's because it's like you got the balance, like with, where your happiness rely on the scale. And sometimes I do, take things that I know my happiness will unbalance the scale. But essentially it kind of balance, because it's just okay, crappy pay rate, but this kind of, I kind of I kind of want to, first start off have interest in the job position. So kind of got to find that balance. So I choose not to work in a factory. Far as Dayton, Ohio goes, that's high paying job. If you don't get a job right in your field, and because I want to go into the entertainment industry, that's why I am where I am right now, far as job employment goes. Now, and I choose not to do news, so it's either factory or news. I choose not to do news because I don't want to report hard news. Of course, if I do report any news, I want it to be entertainment news, soft news. But because I choose not to report hard news, your local, which would be your local news or national news, I choose the other jobs. I choose not to work at a news station. I did do my internship at a news station, but I worked on their living entertainment show. So fast forward to April of 2019. I was working. I was I'm getting myself tangled up. Back up. So, worked different jobs. One left one job to another job. That job, my second job was seasonal. So in between, I did have to rely on Uber and Lyft full time. The first time I didn't take it serious because I had saved up money from that seasonal job, so I had some money to play with, and I was just always visiting my friends that stay elsewhere in Ohio, and whatever else I was doing. So I wasn't taking Uber. But then the second time around that I had to rely on Uber and Lyft full time, when I was in between jobs, I really was pushing in 40 hours. I ran the mileage up on my car because I was full time Uber and Lyft, and I don't want to go back to that. But I do keep it on the side. If you got to do it as a part-time gig, it's, and I have anxiety and stuff, and that's that shit's not whatever, but I got to do what I have to do, and and no shame in my hustle. So fast forward to April 2019. It's been at 9, and I might be shady. I might be shady during this podcast. This is how, of course, this is the Preppy Savages podcast. But April 2019, I was working at a radio station. I was working at a radio station. How long have I been working at the radio station? Was it 9 months? Nine? My year was coming up this past July. And then I think they slicked, because if I would have stayed a year, of course my benefits would increase. So they laid me off before my year had came to an end. And first it didn't hit me. First it didn't hit me until like 3 days later. I was like, oh, it really hit me. I'm like, I'm not really going back to that place. Like, I knew for sure in the day of that I got laid off, escorted off the premises. The day that I got laid off, my boss, he was like more devastated than I was. And I told him not to worry, because I kind of knew something was up. Like, to say I was 100% blindsided, I wasn't. Because I kind of knew something was coming. And I was thinking, I don't know how long I was planning my escape. Like, I got laid off spring of 2019. I was planning my escape winter of 2018, like December, that January of first month of the 2019. And I was only at that job at that time. I was only at the job probably 4 or 5 months. But when the honeymoon phase is over at a job, stuff get real, and that tells you if how long you're gonna be at a job, if you want to stay with the job, if you really like your job. Because when that honeymoon phase is over, you get irritated by the littlest stuff, unless you completely like your job. So stuff get real, and you either adapt or you bounce. Why this nail is growing crazy? Wow. So I knew something was up. Boss was devastated when he told me, pulled me in his office and more, and I was just like, it felt like I was in trouble, but I knew something was coming once, because he waited to the end of my shift to call me in. I got off at like 5. He was like, okay, can you please come down on your way out or before you leave? And I was like, sure. And of course, the whole thing happened. Had to Uber and Lyft until I found my nest. I Ubered and Lyft full time so that was April. Something else was supposed to come up, like a job was supposed to come up. I didn't take it. I don't know why I didn't take a job. So I was like Uber and Lyfting full time for a good two full months. The Uber and Lyfting, DoorDashing, so I can continue to pay my bills, because I still had bills. Just because I don't pay rent, I have other bills, like, I had to hustle. I wish I can live, free. And of course, I'm a guy that like to spend, so of course I had to have spending money. So not only I had to find money to pay my bills, but I had to have money, just to spend, just to still enjoy life, because I'm not about to be sit up in the house broke. So did that for 2 months, 2.5 months. And mind you, I Uber and Lyft off and on, like as a part-time gig. And haven't done it in a minute. And then I started back, had to do it full time. And it was tiring, and I was like applying to jobs, and I really didn't want to apply to nothing else in Dayton, because I was like, okay, once I leave the radio station, I'm just gonna, whether I have the money saved up or not, I'm just gonna go to that big market so I can get into the entertainment industry. But of course, I try to, think smart, and I'm still like, that's what I'm still doing now, like trying to think smart what would be the best move for me, and also, acting accordingly to God's plan and not my own plan. So it's a balance with that as well, and having faith with different things. So yeah, laid off, Uber and Lyft. Now my current job is working. So I worked let me go back to the job that I got laid off from, working at a radio station. I finessed that job. I couldn't finesse my ass to stay longer, but I did get the job, and it's not what I essentially wanted. They hired me as a sales assistant, and of course I want to be either marketing or doing something creative or a talent. So I was like, okay, I can get, my whole goal if I would have stayed at the radio station is I get this job, I do what they want, and I work my way on into the promotion / because radio, it's not called marketing, it's called promotions, if it's a good promotion department, but that's neither here or there. And then I work my way, and maybe they could have hosted my podcast. So that was my idea if I would have stayed on the job. And I had so much downtime, like the job honestly started to get boring anyways, and I had so much downtime. And another good thing that came from the job, because the people was cool, that's one good thing. The people that I work with was cool. The second good thing that came, or not in any particular order, but honestly this might have probably been the good thing. I worked on my website. If you have not been to my website, PreppySavages.com, hence the name of the podcast. I started that website, and I don't have any I don't have any long or essential website building skills, but I do know how, it's easy to go on Wix and build, a startup website. And I went on Wix, and Wix, that was like the best thing that happened from that job. And I haven't looked at my website like most of the summer, and I just looked at my website a couple of days ago, and I was just like, wow, I created this website because I already started adding content on it, and I connected my old YouTube video on it, and I was doing different. I got a blog, my blog is on there. So there's a blog on there about mental health, not just entertainment news, but mental health and my college experience. So definitely check out my blog at PreppySavages.com if you want to. But I built that website, and I worked on that website, and I haven't added that, build onto that website since I left the job, since I got laid off, since I left the radio station. Because once I left the radio station, I really had to of course, think about, okay, where do I go from here? Because the radio station was going to be my last job in Ohio, and I was going to go to the big leagues. So I really had to do some thinking, and as I was working on things throughout the summer, some things fell in place, thank God, and some things, it's definitely been a struggle. It's still a struggle, but things are starting to work out. And I haven't touched my website. I'm about to get back into my website, because I was going to leave it alone, be like, okay, I built my website, this is part of my portfolio, look at the website I built. But I think I'm going to continue to add on and promote my website, just to help with my brand, my platform. I don't like to say brand yet, because I don't necessarily, I kind of got an idea, but I don't have a certain name for my brand. Like, I do have a name, but I don't know if I want it to be my brand. Instead, I just say platform, because essentially I want to work with different things, and just at the end of the day, I want to be known for my voice and my personality. My personality, that was so cheesy and whack, and I'm corny for that. And through my trials and tribulation last fall, another episode, that's what I came to the conclusion. Okay, like, what do I want my legacy to be? And I say, okay, I want to be known for my voice and personality. So I keep that in mind when I'm applying to jobs, and as I move forward and trying to advance in my career. So when I left the radio station, hustle for couple months, definitely the beginning of the summer, for 2.5 months before I got my next full-time gig. I mean, Uber and Lyft was my full-time gig, so that kind of was my full-time job. So after that, I currently, which is my currently job, working in a lab. I started that job in July. I've been there for going on 6 weeks now, pushing 2 months. If you don't know what 6 weeks is, right under 2 months. And things are going smooth. I work third shift. Third shift is so much better in the hospital than first shift. First shift is, if that's not what you sign up for, like if you don't want to be a nurse or a doctor, working in a hospital could be crazy. At least at the hospital I work at. So the lab that I work at is in a hospital. And mind you, I don't have a science degree. My degree is media. And that's what I told them when I interviewed for the job. I'm like, y'all know I don't got a science background. And I was like, yeah, I had a good high school education, but extensive high school education. But I'm like, y'all know I ain't got no. But they were like, yeah, it's fine. It's introductory level. We teach you everything, yada yada yada. And I guess they do see, like, they see kind of like your background, work history or stuff, and listen to you over the phone and get a scope out for who you are. But yeah, I was like, I don't have a background in science. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. So I'm currently working in the lab, and my first couple weeks I trained on first shift, and I was just like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be at this job, because I'm about to quit today. And they rushed me to third shift because I was like picking up on things fast. And I was like, yeah, y'all got to move me on third shift, because I specifically told y'all, and of course I said nicer. I'm being like a bulldozer right now, but of course I said nicer words. I was like, I specifically signed up for third shift, and I really like that because I have other commitments, which I'm going to tell y'all. Y'all ready for my big reveal? I'm about to do my big reveal. So I work third shift. My hours are third shift overnight, and it works for me. And people say, oh, third shift is a beast, but it doesn't work for everybody, and you will know if it works for you. I'm a late owl. In high school, I got up early in the morning. I don't know why, because I guess I relied on somebody to get me to school before, I started driving. Even when I was driving, I didn't really have my own car. I drove to school sometimes, but I didn't have my own car. So that's probably why I got up early for school, just so I can carpool. But once I got to like college, the night owl definitely came in full effect. So, and then I worked third shift before for a hot summer in college, and then my other jobs have been mixed between first and second shift. But now I'm on third shift. I like it. It works for me because of my availability. What I do during the day. During the day, I ready for the big reveal. Here it go. Listen closely, because I'm about to do the big reveal. As I sip water. Quench thirst. I mean, I didn't do this on purpose, guys. I'm like really listening. I'm about to eat some mashed potatoes. Run it up. Run it up. Run it up. Run it up. So, the reason why I wanted to work third shift is because the day I need to be available for auditions, I am signed with an agency in Cincinnati, Ohio. Ask me how that's going. Stories for days. And that's why I've been MIA on social media. I've been checking my Instagram. Like, if people message me, message back. Seeing what like friends been up to. Old people. but I haven't posted because I wanted my first photo to be my headshot, and my photographer had yet to do my final edits. Like, she already released my unedited photos, so I'm waiting for her to release my edit photos, because my edit photos will be a couple of photos out of all the photos she took. She will give to my agency. They will pick 4, and that will make up my comp card. And if you don't know anything about the industry with modeling or acting, your comp card is like show your versatility, like especially if you want to model like what you look like in different ways. You know, you can look like you, and you know, your headshot, kind of get a sense of your personality or your looks, your facial looks. And then you know, might have a business casual look or an athletic look. So yeah, normally your comp card kind of composed of 3 or 4 pictures, and then you can add any other good photos to your like portfolio, whether that's digital or not. So yeah, so I have not posted on Instagram in a while because I just wanted my first photo to be my headshot, and then I was going to do some marketing based on the other photos that I got. Because I already started editing stuff on my own, which I don't know Photoshop, but I use like, you know, Instagram filters and stuff that look cool with my photos. And I was just like, ooh, I can like post these in between time. And I try to give y'all, if you follow me on Instagram, Demonte Q, try to give y'all a sneak peek. I released one photo long ago. This was back in May. When did I sign with the agency? Probably May, but I didn't do my photo shoot till like June. So I've been signed with the agency for about 4 months, and things are like kind of like, you know, I'm trying to be like patient. So things are like started like moving slowly. It didn't hit fast for me. I did one in-person audition, and then they submitted my photos, and that's why, never mind, I'm not gonna be shady. And then they submitted my photos. Oh yeah, I'm a clown on this podcast. I'm like, no, this is my podcast. When you have talent, I'm not gonna act wild on this episode. But listen, I don't worry about nothing, because when you have talent, when you have confidence, and it's not related to motto, but with any job you have, or like any aspect of your life, I don't worry about a lot, like, because I know I'm a good worker. I treat people kindly, all that good stuff in life. Like, yeah, I have my flaws, but so, you know, what's for me will be mine. God will bless me with things, and what misses me was never meant for me. I think I got that from J. Cole, but it's the truth. Like, you know, sometimes you think different things is for you, and you really want them, but they're not. Like, you know, and let them go. Don't be so heartbroken about them, because what's for you will eventually come to you at the right time. And that's what I learned from the multiple jobs I had, talking about job security, you know. So so I've been signed with the agency. So, and I never know when audition is. So that's why I picked to work third shift in a lab. And then when I'm not auditioning, like now, because I have to be I got to be at work in an hour. I'm gonna just say an hour because I need to leave out. I work on my platform, and I'm getting back into things. This is the first episode of my podcast. I'm gonna get back into the podcast and then do some social media marketing. And if anybody else want to help me, if anybody else need help with their brand, we can talk. If you need ideas, just hit me up. I'll shoot you a message. If you want to go in depth and, you know, a trade or something, I work with you. When it comes to branding and marketing, I have a lot of ideas for different things. And I, you know, just because of my experience or what I learned, I know a lot of, you know, accumulated a lot of knowledge when it comes to advice to give, far as branding. I don't have brand architect in my bio for nothing on Instagram. And it's getting cold. I'm about to turn the AC off. I'm getting cold. Y'all can't feel my cold through my voice or through this camera. Shout out to, if you're listening to me on your, like, what, you know, not seeing this video, if you're just listening to me in between time, shout out to you. You are committed. I love you as much. So yeah, so I needed my days to be available. I can work on myself and also work on my platform. And then work nights, which it works for me. And I'm about that hustle. And one thing, and I'm wrapping up this episode of the Preppy Savages podcast. One thing related to job security is that I did learn since I've been out of school. I think I got this from somebody posted or did their own version of this on Twitter. They said, if you don't like your 9-to-5 job, use that to support your dreams. And that's what I'm currently doing, or one of the things I'm currently doing. Because I know some people get in a funk about where they're currently at in life, whether the pay sucks, their coworker sucks, anything sucks, maybe they sucks because their job sucks. But just use your 9-to-5 job, and obviously you don't have to work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. because obviously I don't work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. no more. When I was at the radio station, oh no, when I was at the radio station, that was 9 to 5, but like they gave me an hour lunch. I really didn't need an hour lunch, but I'll take it. I had to get up early. What time did I think I had to be there at 8, and that's early for me. And when I say, and that's one of the reasons I was kind of like praying God. I was like, God, please get me through. Let me make a year mark. Let me make my year mark, because getting up early, between a job being a little boring for me, between me getting up early, I was like, I'm really trying to push through at this radio station. When I was working at the radio station, and I was praying, I was like, please God, give me the strength, give me the motivation, and let alone, we all know what he did of April 2019 for me. So I was like, okay, God, so what's next? What's my next move? So, you know, and I do like the lab. I like the lab much better that I'm on third shift, but I like the lab better as right now. Keep in mind that I'm still in the honeymoon phase of the lab, but please, you know, the lab is the last job I want to have in Ohio, at least in Ohio. Let me let me be assertive. The lab is the last job I'm gonna have in Ohio before I go to the big leagues, before I move. Of course, I don't know if I told y'all where I want to. If you watch my past episode, you already know where I want to move to. California is my first pick. Just went over that with two people. California is my first choice. I want to go to California. It will work well with me. I want to see how far I can go with modeling and expanding my brand, my platform. I think I will do good. And I tried, like, this is not my first sign to this agency. It's not my first go around with, I'm pushing an hour. Wow, last episodes were like 20-30 minutes last season, but I'm pushing an hour. I'm gonna add, like, I'm not gonna do I don't like editing. I'm just gonna do a simple editing app on my phone, and I'm gonna chop up this video. But I'm pushing an hour. If it all was good, I'll keep it, but if not, I'll try to get it down. If you listen all the way through, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. But if I'm talking to myself, I have a lot of stuff to get out in these podcasts. Maybe it will be my therapy, extended therapy. But I am grateful that you are listening. But going back to this wasn't like Ben signed. I'm official now. I liked it, like, oh, I'm official model now. I'm signed with an agency. but it is hard. It is hard work. I am hustling. Things are not going as like I like, but things don't come as fast every time. So I am taking it, you know, I don't know if I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but I am doing the best I can. I'm just taking it day by day. Do need to continue to work on patience. I think I need to work on patience. I don't know. This is not my first go around with modeling. I did model a couple of times, not anything on this level, I guess professional level, or trying to do it on professional level, but I did a couple things for people. Oh, that kind of made it seem like I was a freaking Craigslist model. Like I was some type of star. And we ain't talking about a movie star. Or a star in the sky. But I did a couple local shows. I modeled in college, couple college fashion shows. And then dope, and I will forever be grateful. And I'm kind of glad because that's kind of got me used to doing photo shoots. Is one of my best friends. She shot me. She actually did two photo shoots. We always like taking pictures, hitting angles at parties of each other, but she did. I know specifically. I remember 2 times that she actually, and I still got the photos that she did 2 photo shoots with me. One was just like kind of like play. We were at her house, outside in her yard. She got a beautiful like yard area, nice outdoors area, and we took some photos that and I took some photos of her. And then the second time was like I felt like it was an actual shoot because the whole different aesthetics, outfit. Did I do an outfit change? Kind of like outfit change. I think I kind of like took off. I always wear open shirts, so I just took off the open shirt or something. And then she edited it multiple ways, so it kind of gave me a variety. And that's what, like, some of those photos, I'm trying to get my agency now to include in my portfolio. My portfolio, like when I go to another city, another market, I can, like, my portfolio can be, as of right now, I think it could be anything I want to. Like, this agency, they could represent me. I guess they could be my mother agency or not if I don't want to. With me being their agent, contract agreement, I can't. Well, actually, I don't. Never mind. I did sign an agreement saying. I was like, wait a minute, because I can bend some rules now. But the rule with me signed with the agency in Cincinnati, Ohio, I cannot work. Well, far as modeling, print work, because print work is different from filming. I cannot model for anybody else, I can model for whoever, but far as somebody representing me, they cannot represent me within 2 hours of 2 hours driving distance of any of my like agency offices. So I'm signed with the agency, the main agent, or the branch that I do the most, I guess, go to, did all the other stuff, orientation stuff, is in Cincinnati, Ohio, but their main location, or their first location, is in Indiana. So 2 hours of the city that they are in Indiana, and then 2 hours anywhere, 2 hours from Cincinnati. I can't model or have somebody else represent me. And then they also have a Louisville location. I think they're trying to get a Columbus location, but I don't know if the Columbus location is just for us auditioning, or if they're it's like an agency. And I did get this workbook. This guy, he's a model. He's in California. I brought his workbook guide about just the modeling thing, and just to learn about different things. and he's represented by 9 or 8 different agencies. Like he got two in California, because he lives in like San Diego or something, and he's represented by somebody where he lives, San Diego or San Francisco, and then he's represented by somebody in LA. He represented by somebody in Chicago, South Africa, and then I think Denmark or somewhere in Europe. And then maybe in Florida, I think he represented by somebody. If that's not 8, he's definitely represented by 7 or 8. And I can be represented by multiple. I don't know my plans as far as being represented. I do know like where I go next, I'm definitely going to be represented by somebody in wherever I go next. And I know how I kind of want them to market me, and we're going to go from there. I think will do good with runway. I'm trying to go to like model for like Versace and Dior and Balmain and Burberry and all. Well, I don't know, because some of them they've been a little sketch lately, but because I think I will do good in the overseas market as well, and then I can just rack up with an American market, like print work and stuff, but do the runways overseas, unless it's like New York Fashion Week. So that's where I'm at in life. That's job security. You know, just stay, you know, you got to do what you have to do. Any other advice, feel free to hit me up. I'm open. Use your 9. If you don't like your job, use that job to support your dream. And I know what it's like trying to support your dream, and your job may not pay nothing. The rate is low, or even if the rate low, you can't save. If you pick up a part-time job, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, if you could work at a cashier somewhere, part-time job. If you can't do a part-time job, then work on something. Do something for free. Work on your. Well, it's easy for me to say that because I obviously entertainment industry where I want to be, and I have a couple other friends who want to do something media related. So sometimes we do talk about, work on your stuff. You have something to work on even if you don't have another job. What else did I talk? I think I did a blog about this too, like working. But job security, you really have no control over it. But thanks for listening to this episode of the Preppy Savages podcast. I'm DeMonte. It was great talking to you. And you all will see me when you see me. Oh, should we have some accident music? If you see my episodes last season, I like this fox, y'all. Look at this fox. If you see my episodes last, I did some good things. Like I taste try. I want to bring that back, and I also want more people to like be featured on this podcast, like coming up, different podcasts, the Preppy Savages, and there's just gonna be a variety of things. I'm gonna be cooking. I don't even cook, but I'm gonna be cooking. I'm definitely gonna have different motivational talks. That's why I wanted to do this. So there's gonna be, and I kind of want to just depend on my schedule and other things I'm working on. I want to release 2 episodes. I'm definitely gonna do once a week, but I kind of want to do 2 because I want one to be like a serious topic like this. But my personality don't make things so serious and like, oh, he's about to tell a sad story. Everybody cry. Like, I might cry. But I want one topic to be, let's say, a motivational topic, whether you learn from my experience or you share my experience. And then I want another video to be the fun video, like whether I cook or do something funny or clown with my. I don't have any friends in Dayton. I only have one friend left in Dayton. My other friends, like my last of my other friends just move out of the city. So I hang out a lot with my family. I have siblings around my age, so I like hanging out with them, and they might be on my podcast and stuff, so I turn up with them, and we might turn up together on the podcast. Because I do get wilder than this, guys. So stay tuned. And definitely know, you will know when I put out another episode. Gotta go. Deuces, DeMonte is out. That was fun. Yeah, well.